Right, this video is going to look at rivers revision, and the idea is that you can pause and stop and work on it as you go along. So we're going to look at a range of different things over the course of today's lesson. The first thing I want you to do is use the textbook your own knowledge, go back in time and define these keywords. So I want you to look at river basin, source, mouth, tributary, confluence, floodplain. Okay, get those definitions down in your book. Try and get them done as quickly as possible, and then we can move on. As we're going on, I'm going to come around the room and check that you're doing okay. Once you get to this slide, what I want to do is pause the video, okay, and start thinking about what kind of processes do you think occur in each of these areas. So where do you think erosion's occurring? Where do you think transportation's largely occurring? Where do you think deposition will be occurring? Think about these different things and then try and actually come up with some ideas. Pause the video now, okay, have a think about these ideas, discuss them with the person next to you if you need to, okay, right. So what you should have found out, or what you hopefully found out, is that erosion is going to be largely occurring at the top near the V-shaped valleys up here. So this is where your main erosion is going to be occurring. This is more vertical erosion. You're going to be getting lateral erosion here, with creating your meanders, but you're also going to get in deposition as well. And then out here, you're going to be largely getting deposition as the river takes everything out to sea. Okay, and you get large amounts of build up around the mouth of the river. Okay, so this is going to be our different processes. So on the next slide, you can write these down if you want to. You should remember them now, to be honest, because we've done them with coasts, we've done them with rivers. But if you need to, write down the types of erosion, the types of transportation and weathering and deposition. Okay, so just pause the video there and make a note of these ideas. Okay, next thing I want you to do is I want you to think about river landforms. Okay, I'm going to ask you to define two. You could be asked to do any in the exam, to be honest, but we're going to focus on two because these, to be honest, are the most common. Okay, on the left, we've got a waterfall here. What we need to think about is use the textbook and try and come up with an explanation as to how a waterfall forms. You can do this through a sketch if you want to. It shouldn't be particularly complicated, but make sure that you've got like this simple sketch done showing off these different processes. Okay, get that sketch drawn and then have a look at a meander. Okay, with the meander, we've got different types of erosion going on. We've got deposition occurring here as well. Okay, so try and draw a sketch and have a look in the textbook to help you with this. The pages you want to be looking at are going to be pages 80 and then pages 82 to actually help you with these different things. Okay, just make them simple, keep them easy. You don't want to spend more than 10 minutes on that. So these are our different landforms. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is flooding. Flooding is quite important, and the first thing to understand is why flooding occurs. And there's physical causes and there's human causes. And I suppose the obvious cause is that you just get more rainfall. But it's thinking about the fact that we can get different causes of flooding. Okay, if you have a look at page 86 in the book that I provided, you can see both physical causes and human causes. Try and pick two, say one physical or two physical, and then look at one human or two human, and just explain how they cause flooding. Okay, once you've done that, which of these factors do you think is more important? Do you think it's the physical factors which are most important, or do you think it's the human factors which are most important? Again, pause the video and you can work your way through that. Okay. You might remember back a long time ago that we looked at flooding on the River Exe. Okay, now this is going to be one of your case studies that you need to know. We will go back and revise this in more detail when we come to the revision for our full exams, but at the moment we've got to get through quite a lot in quite a short period of time. So, case study of the River Exe. First things first, try and locate the River Exe and then find out the causes of the flood. Now, this occurred in 2012, 2013, so late 2012, early 2013. So find out the causes of the flood. Find out what exactly happened in this flood, okay, and try and find two causes. Now, this could be heavy rainfall, could be the fact that there's too much building on the floodplain. Have a think about it and then apply it to this area, okay, and remember it was around the Exeter region. Then use the next slide to explain the impacts. Try and come up with one social, one economic, and one environmental, but remember, be specific. Okay, so I'm going to flip to the next slide now. Pause the video, and so you can actually try and come up with a couple of ideas. Okay, now there's a lot of different ideas on here. There's a lot of physical, there's a lot of human damage, there's a lot of social damages on here. If you can't find environmental, you might need to actually have a look somewhere else. Okay, have a look on the internet to see if you can find anything out. There is one hidden in here, but you might have to think about that a little bit more carefully. Okay, again, pause the video and get that done. Okay, the last thing which I want to look at today is types of response to flood events. And we've got two different types of flood protection. We've got hard engineering and we've got soft engineering. Now, if you think back, we talk about sustainability when it regards to this, okay, and the soft engineering tends to be more sustainable than the hard engineering. So you're going to need to understand both of these. If you need to, write these two definitions down by pausing the video now. And then once you've done that, we're going to look at the next slide. Last thing we need to do is to think about a couple of different ways in which floods can be managed. And if you look at page 94, you can make a couple of notes on this to help you with this. Now, all during this lesson, I'm going to be coming around, helping you out and answering any questions you have. Okay, but this is your opportunity to kind of work at your own pace, get through independently and develop your own ideas clearly. Okay.